The BBC Newsnight show biased against Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings, and Piers Morgan sends his Twitter followers to attack me. So it's been a bit of a busy day for me today because I've had to deal with Piers Morgan's followers who spend the whole day attacking me for telling the truth. So the whole thing started last night on BBC Newsnight, the BBC flagship news programme, when Emily Maitlis, who's supposed to be impartial, decided to abandon her values and personally criticise and attack the government.
Good evening. Dominic Cummings broke the rules. The country can see that, and it shocked the government cannot. The longer ministers and Prime Minister tell us he worked within them, the more angry the response to this scandal is likely to be. He was the man, remember, who always got the public mood, who tagged the lazy label of elite on those who disagreed. He should understand that public mood now, one of fury, contempt and anguish. He made those who struggle to keep to the rules feel like fools and has allowed many more to assume they can now flout them. The Prime Minister knows all this, but despite the resignation of one minister, growing unease from his backbenchers, a dramatic early warning from the polls and a deep national disquiet, Boris Johnson has chosen to ignore it. Tonight we consider what this blind loyalty tells us about the workings of Number 10. We do not expect to be joined by a government minister, but that won't stop us asking the question.
Now, you watched that, and we're going to talk about why that was biased and also just misleading. But this is I tweeted something, and then Piers Morgan decided to use his usual tactic of getting his followers to troll. What he does is he quote retweets so that everybody sees it, and then he gets the followers to then attack on his behalf. So let's look at the tweet. So I tweeted, BBC's Emily Maitlis should be ashamed of herself for directly showing bias and spreading misleading information. Piers Morgan said, where is the bias? Emily stated irrefutable facts. That's her job as a journalist. The government is supporting hypocrisy and endorsing rule breaking. This will cost lives. It doesn't matter if you're left, right or sideways, facts don't care about your feelings. And now he's using Ben Shapiro's quotes. Well, Piers, my dear, I can tell you why that's biased and also misleading. Well, 2 words, Ofcom and BBC Charter. Well, that's technically 3 words, but still counts. So firstly, look at the Ofcom's actual guidance. Section 5 of the Ofcom regulation says that it is to ensure that news in whatever form is reported with due accuracy and presented with due impartiality. So in terms of the bias and not being impartial, it's not the job of Emily Maitlis or the BBC's Newsnight to express their opinion in that sense. The monologue, what is this? Like Andrew Neil's This Week, it's a different sort of program, and they're there to report the news and analyze it rather than take sides. In terms of the misleading information is when she said that Dominic Cummings broke the rules. He didn't break the rules. There were always exceptional circumstances that could apply to everybody regardless of his role, and we've said that so many times. We didn't have an Italian style full lockdown in this country. There was no blanket policy. You could always leave your house if you needed to. Key workers like Dominic Cummings could travel to drive to work. If you needed childcare, you could do it. If you needed to go to a hospital, you could do it. You, Piers Morgan, said in your tweet that this behaviour would cost lives. No, your behaviour cost lives, because what you've been doing over the past couple of months, you've been scaring people. And so a lot of people had to be forced to stay at home because of you. And a lot of people who had to go to hospital, cancer patients, people who needed treatments, and they didn't go to hospital because of you, because they thought they're not allowed to go out, and now they're in trouble. So this is not the fault of Dominic Cummings, it's your fault. Now, I don't know why this day I've decided to wear a black t-shirt. What is wrong with me? But in terms of BBC's Newsnight, also, it's very quiet today, Hyde Park. Usually it's busier than this at this time, but the problem with the BBC's Newsnight is that they've been losing viewers over the last few years because they're being, biased, and so they thought their solution, the best solution to fix this, is to hire Lewis Goodall as their policy, head of policy or something. The guy who is a Labour activist. Yeah, this is Lewis Goodall, who used to write for The Guardian, who went to Oxford and was a Labour Party activist and a blogger. So this guy is now in charge of the policy at BBC's Newsnight. Right, let's have a quick sit down because I can't really walk and vlog at the same time. It's too difficult, I'm getting old. I mentioned Ofcom, there we go. The second thing is BBC Charter. Yes, Piers Morgan on ITV's Good Morning Britain is allowed to express opinions because it's different. BBC Charter restricts the BBC to do things like this. That's the whole point. Fundamentally, it's not the job of a flagship news programme to personally attack anyone like that. And if they want to do it, they also have to show the other side. And that was the problem with Emily Maitlis. This is not about Dominic Cummings doing the right thing or wrong thing. It's not the job of the BBC to do it, to report the news like this. This is how you manipulate the public. Now, I did challenge Piers Morgan to come on my show tonight. It's not happening. So hopefully he will invite me to go on Good Morning Britain to debate him so I could educate him on this issue. Now, we mentioned the BBC a lot. It's not just them and their charter, their stupid charter. It's there's the issue with Ofcom, and it applies to even Sky News. And these guys who've been doorstepping Dominic Cummings, not just doorstepping, actually harassing him. So watch this video and see if this is acceptable behaviour.
Mr. Cummings, were you telling the truth yesterday? You think the public will believe you? You think the public will believe you? Social distancing. Social distancing, guys. Mind the car, please. Just keep your 2 metres. Keep moving 2 metres, guys. Move out of the way, please. Keep moving. Thank you very much. Keep the 2 metres. Please move out of the way of the vehicle. Please move out of the car. You're blocking the highway. You resign. You'll be happy. You're blocking the door now, guys. You need to move back. You are blocking the highway.
Now, on the plus side, nobody cares about Sky News. Nobody cares what they say. We have the latest data for the quarterly numbers. And it's not looking good for Sky News. So comparing this channel's quarterly ratings to Sky News, this channel had almost 14 million, 13,731,000 views for the actual quarter, and Sky News had 12.6 million. You know, if a YouTube channel could actually beat you, then you're in trouble. Now, the hypocrisy of Piers Morgan is backed up by people like Alistair Campbell, the person behind that dodgy dossier in 2003. He's now been caught. He's been attacking Dominic Cummings. He's been telling him to resign. Yesterday he was caught. He actually broke the lockdown social distancing measures himself. Yeah, so this is thanks to Guido Fawkes. Alistair Campbell was pictured actually breaking the social distancing rules by doing a selfie. So he's obviously, as we said, one of Dominic Cummings' critics in the media. And on the other hand, you know, he himself made a mistake. You know, he's Tony Blair's former spin doctor, and he tweeted a selfie. This is yesterday morning with Speedo Mick, an Everton fan who attends matches wearing only Speedos. Whom he swam into. That, yeah, this is a sort of weird story, but so yeah, basically he took a selfie with someone who's not part of his household. Where is the 2 meter measure, Alistair? Where is it? And again, this story was only in Guido Fawkes. The BBC or Sky News aren't really talking about any of this, or even ITV. Speaking of ITV, one of the kind of favourite things of a lot of you who watch this channel is when we show the moments when Matt Hancock takes down Robert Peston. It happened again yesterday when Robert Peston asked a stupid question at Matt Hancock, slammed him down.
Robert Peston from ITV.
Secretary of State, you and your wife tested positive for COVID-19. You have 3 young children, but you chose to stay at home in London. What is the relevant difference between you and Dominic Cummings?
The relevant difference, Robert, is that we had childcare readily available at home and Mr. Cummings didn't. Thanks very much. Ben?
Yeah, it's not really hard to understand that, you know, he had childcare issues, special circumstance, and he had to actually do it. Matt Hancock had childcare in London, at home. Simple. Again, when you have the media or the press, the left-wing press, like the Mirror, coming up with fake news. So these were the people who said that a few days ago, Dominic Cummings ran up north twice. And this is why people kicked off. And they didn't correct themselves, and there's been a lot of complaints, obviously, because that was a fake story. They've done another one about one of the Tory MPs saying that there was a house party at a Tory MP's house. But let's look at the story and you can judge it for yourself. So the story in the Mirror says the police break up illegal lockdown birthday party at a Tory MP's house. And you look into the actual thing, it says the police broke up this illegal party. The two people who were visiting the house of Rob Roberts MP were asked to leave. And there were balloons and banners outside the house marking a 40th birthday. It is understood that Mr. Roberts' wife turned 40 on Monday. Now, a spokesperson for Mr. Roberts said Rob Roberts was not present at the time. His family have been reminded of the guidelines set out by the government. Mr. Roberts, who literally was about a week ago, just came out as LGBT, is understood to have spent the bank holiday weekend in London and returned to the family home this afternoon because they separated 6 weeks ago. And when he came out, so they don't even basically live together in that sense, and he wasn't even there. And in the actual story, they confirmed this, but the headline makes you think that the Tory MP threw a house party and so many people were there, and so this is all lies. And where is the outrage, Piers Morgan? You know, if you're a man of truth and integrity and facts, and facts don't care about your feelings and all that, why are you not lashing out? Why are you not kicking off with this whole situation? It's the hypocrisy and double standards is mental. But the Twitter row continues with Piers Morgan, and so if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter yet, because he keeps boasting about his followers, so make sure to go on Twitter and follow me, and we can show him that we also have an army here. And I want to say massive thank you again to everybody who's been supporting me. If you want to become a member of this channel to support my work, it's all thanks to you guys, obviously, that I can continue every day. Check out the link in the description, or just go on your browser and type in youtube.com/myitc/join. You can find the join button next to subscribe as well. I'm MyITC. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.